Marcus Chiminello joining us on the Elite Agent ARIG Lounge, fresh off the stage yesterday. How did it go?
Oh, I really enjoyed it, Sarah.
I loved your message about just cutting away all of the noise and the fat
Yes.
of what agents are doing and a return to the basics.
And that's what it really is. I think it's easily forgotten the basics are the basics, and they are the simplest things to do. And people get complicated and bogged down in technology and distractions rather than sticking with those fundamental basics.
I liked what you said about young agents, being more concerned with their Instagram accounts and their bank accounts. I think that's a real soundbite that everyone could take away from that.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't do it instead of, do you?
No, you're complementing your basics with things like that rather than having it as an or strategy in replacement of the basics.
Tell me about your human strategy with your database. You talked about a fit database.
Yep.
And going from a quantity database down to a much leaner, high quality database. Was that a bit scary to let go of the records or the numbers? Or
It was initially, because it is this giant leap of faith, to really focus on a smaller amount of people in a quality database rather than volume. And I think you can really dilute your relationships with those people. And I mentioned yesterday about the 80-20 rule. Look at you getting 80% of your results from 20% of the people that you interact with. Focus on those people 80% of the time.
Yeah.
So flip the attention, don't dilute it across 1,000 people when you physically just can't do it.
if you're a young agent starting today, how do you start when there's a smorgasbord of
Yeah, it's a difficult
tools?
one. Yeah, but I think there's 3 stages of real estate where your number one focus is income when you start. It's all about doing deals, making money and surviving and selling everywhere, taking on everything, and you need to get that deal exposure. Then there really comes to a point where you're career focused. Just go, okay, I'm in this for the long haul. This is not a job, I'm not experimenting with it. I'm in this profession for the long haul. So you focus on career. Then I think you need to then progress from career to specialisation. To specialise in a particular market, a particular price point, style of home, so people recognise what you stand for as a real estate agent and as a real estate professional. So what I focused on is becoming an expert in a particular area and a particular price point, and over time, people gravitate to me. They've got similar homes that I have a record of selling, and at the end of the day, when you look at who makes more money in a profession, a generalist or a specialist, a GP or a brain surgeon, it's always the specialist. Real estate is very much like investing. You're investing $1 a day, you don't expect to be a millionaire in a week. So it's consistently doing the right things over a long period of time. You are set for success. Problem is, most agents, 85%, 90% of them are guilty of doing the right things some of the time. And you'll get good results some of the time. You'll have good income some of the time. So it's all about consistency.
What qualities do you think are salient among that high performance echelon that you're a part of?
Now, if I look at guys like, though I've never met him, but I've heard a lot of great things like Alexander Phillips, so James Tostovan, Gavin Rumstein, myself, Adrian Bowe, there are so many great operators in Australia. They'd be absolutely ruthless with their time. They're not wasting their time. They're either enjoying it or really empowering that time into their business. They're not dawdling, they're not walking the hallways of the office and they're not a water cooler type of a person. I think time management is the number one thing because everything else can be learnt. You can learn the scripts, you can learn and adapt it to your own personality, but you can learn all that. You can get online, become a really great real estate agent from afar. But I think managing your time, looking after yourself is really important.
Wellness and well-being is an increasing trend across all industries. Work is hard with the digital world. We're working all the time.
Yeah.
And balance is emerging as really the new green.
It's
the new theme that we all need to be paying attention to.
Definitely.
And so what do you do in that hour a day that you're talking about?
The way I prioritise things, it's number one, me. It sounds selfish, but I've got to look after myself to have the ability to then look after my family and run a great business. And so myself is, I'm usually up at 5:30, it's gym, it's just listening to some great music, just starting the day positively, not letting someone else influence how my day starts.
Yeah.
So I hate those days where, you forget to set your alarm and you wake up late and it's all rush. It's reactive. And then you have people calling you because you're behind, you're not working on your time, you're working on other time, and people calling you and you start your day disastrously. And I hate those days. I feel like just turning my phone off and going home and going, I'm starting again tomorrow. So I start really positively in that way and have some time to myself, and I'm really passionate about keeping fit, and for me that's my disconnect. That's a really great release for me. And then I get home. By the time I get home, I have half an hour just to set my day up, send some emails to clients, team, make sure my day is already turning by the time everyone gets into the office. And I always want to get a head start on my competitors and my colleagues. That's the reality. And then it's time with the kids, and time with the kids, my wife, and they're all off ready to go to school. I'm off ready to go to work, and the day starts.
And so it's a sustainability practice, really.
It is, and discipline, consistent discipline. It's those
And
things.
that's it. Starting's not hard, maintaining is hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can do it for a day.
Anyone can do
it for a day.
anything for a day, can't
Correct.
they?
Yeah. I think the time management is the equaliser, because everyone has those days to give.
And
gives us those-
self-management?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Self-management.
Self-management, and I think self-management comes back to discipline.
Yeah.
Like the ability to not have to always be accountable to someone else, to have the ability and the initiative just to do it.
Marcus, thank you so much for joining us on
Pleasure.
the couch. I think
Pleasure.
it's been really great to catch up with you after your presentation.
Thank you, Sarah.
I enjoyed it, and our readers did as well. So thank
Great.
you so much.
No worries. Great to see you. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks.